a comic and a playwright, and I have recently been wondering, like, who it sucks more for? Does it suck more to be a woman playwright or to be a lady comic? And, you know, because it's hard for women out there in every job. There's more obstacles. The odds are against us. It's just challenging. But, you know, I was wondering, well, you know, for these two things that I try to do, which one sucks more for me? Because it's a positive way to look at one's creative endeavors. And, you know, I've been a playwright for over 20 years now, and I've only been doing the stand-up thing for like about 2 years, so I have a lot less data on the stand-up end of things. But I have come to the conclusion that it's much harder for the lady playwrights. And this is why. Because as a comedian, no one is going to come up to me and say, you know what, we really love you and we think you're hilarious, but we can't book you next week because Shakespeare's in town. And like, he's a really big name, so we can't, you know, you understand. And then next week, Tennessee Williams is in town, and then we think Eugene O'Neill is coming by, so we don't really know when we're gonna get to you. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen to comedians. There's a lot of dudes out there, there's a lot of competition. You can go to any open mic and it's like overwhelmingly the dudes. But once they stop breathing, you don't have to compete with them anymore. You know, Jonathan Winters, God rest his soul, no one is going to stick him in a giant jar of formaldehyde and put him up on stage at the Chicago Theater and replay his old routines. That's not going to happen. You know, no one's going to exhume Bob Hope and tie his rotting corpse to a chair and tour him around the country. All right, we don't have to worry about that happening. But as a playwright, the dead guys are really still part of the scene. And in fact, the dead guys often get more work than the living playwrights, both men and women. I'm not kidding. Who do you think the most produced playwright in this country is every single year? William Shakespeare. A man who has been dead for almost 400 years, who wrote in a version of our language that we no longer speak. And he's never even fucking been here. Okay, so fine, our country didn't exist when he was alive, and even if it had, it would have been a really long boat ride. But does no one else think this is completely insane? If you translated this into like stand-up, this would mean that a jester from the court of King James I was still the highest grossing comedian now today. Bigger than Louis C.K. So you're laughing, because it's crazy, who would do that? In theater, we do this all the time. And it's not like he gets a few more productions than living playwrights, he gets like orders of magnitude more productions than the living playwrights. All right? And so I ask why? Why is this happening? Is this because he's better? He's better than everybody else in the last 400 years? That idea is not just insulting to all the writers, it's insulting to humanity. And it's not true. It's not because he's better, it's because he's worshipped. We have this cult of Shakespeare in this country, and I know it's a cult because the cult members get really upset with me when I talk like this. It's a little like I've gone into a church and gone, Jesus is an asshole! Very similar response. And I'm kind of like, why are you getting so upset with me? Do you think Shakespeare's your friend? Are you upset on his behalf? You think I'm going to hurt his feelings? I'm not going to hurt his feelings. He's dead. He's dead. The bard is not rising again. And you know what? Even if he did, he'd be pretty pissed that he's not getting any royalties.